Dr. Cindy Davis Evans with The Cindy Davis Show. My guest today is no stranger to the show. He is an electrifying performer, singer, songwriter, and this season's contestant on The Voice. Welcome, Dreion. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm traveling on the move and
Yeah.
trying to keep up with everything.
Well, welcome back to the show. It is an honor to have you back.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Yeah. So since the last time you were here, you have been traveling with Earth, Wind, and Fire and opening for them.
Yes.
You and your wife welcomed a baby girl. I mean, there's a lot going on in your life right now. What was it like traveling and singing, opening for Earth, Wind, and Fire?
It's an incredible experience to work with such incredible, amazing legends. But it's even more humbling to know that these are inspirations of mine. People I've listened to their music, their I've watched them on television and on YouTube, and to have them as mentors and to have them welcome me on their tour as an opening act is just incredible. I've just it just blows my mind the
Yeah.
level of excitement that I still get for every show,
Uh-huh.
because it's an incredible it's nostalgic. These are songs that I grew up listening to that have influenced who I am as an artist and the music that I do now. So it's just over the top.
Wow, yeah, I can only imagine. And tell us about your baby girl. So, wow, when did this happen?
So, so she's now 8 months. We had her back in February,
Uh-huh.
and it was kind of on a kind of one of the breaks that I had in terms of my touring schedule. And so, we had her C-section so we could schedule her, and I could make sure I could be there
Wow.
for her, which is a blessing. And so now, yeah, so now she's 8 months, and we have a 6-year-old daughter as well. And so they're getting very, very acquainted. They're very, very close, even at the young age. And she's actually starting to crawl and walk now. So it's been an amazing journey, just kind of watching that whole thing over again, becoming a dad again.
Wow. And you, especially with your schedule now.
Yes.
Yeah. Joya, now you look back over your life, I know, and just and think, I know I do, and thinking about your life coming from foster care and that foster care system to where you are now. What do you attribute that to, and how were you able to do that? How were you able to rise above that?
Well, the two things that I always say that helped me through the foster care system and my experience in the foster care system was God and music.
Uh,
I was very, very, I was raised in a very spiritual environment and in the church environment with my aunt, with my uncle, and with my family that I would go to church with, and they were the ones that introduced me to God and church, and they were the ones that introduced me to music as well. And so I seemingly see them together or always coupled them together. And the first CD that I ever received was when I was in foster care, and it was God's Property, Kurt Franklin's album. And I played that album front, backwards, side to side. It was one of the highlights of my life and my career, because that was the album that really helped me through so much in that time. I would, play instruments to that song. I would sing to that song. I would, act like I was directing the choir to that album. I mean, it really kind of gave me my 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 beginning when it came to music. And so for me, that was my driving force. God and music were definitely two things that when nobody else was there, when I was alone in my room, those were the two things that I leaned on or relied on. And being 7 years old, I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a whole lot of understanding of life and things like that. But those were the things that that I knew were peaceful to me, that brought me a sense of happiness, of joy. And those were the things that I was drawn to during my time in the system.
yeah. And so now, fast forward, you are now a contestant on The Voice.
Yes.
Wow. So what was it like auditioning for The Voice?
So it was an incredible experience. I love all of the staff and the people that work there at The Voice. They're such amazing people, and they care so much about the artist and your presentation and uh, your big opportunity to present your story and your voice to the world. And so for me, that experience was very they cater to making sure that you're comfortable, that you're okay, that you feel confident. And so that entire process, it's a long process, even though they show everything kind of happening in like a week, or we're there for a very long time. It's more like a month, or and sometimes a little bit over that, depending on which round you're talking about. But it's a lot of great help and undergirding that you get from the staff and everybody that works there. There's so many different people whose hands make this possible for all of us to 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 make this successful for all of us. And the thing about it is like being on that stage, like, you watch it on television, but you always dream of something like that happening and taking place. And I've been working at this for many years. This is my fifth time auditioning for the competition TV shows. And this is the first time that I've been shown. And so for me, it's a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of pride that I have, that I didn't give up, that I didn't just, allow no to defeat me, but now I actually get to be on television, which is something that I've always dreamed of, even as a young artist or musician in foster care, or someone that would just aspired to do something bigger than the circumstance that I was in. So being on the show is just a dream come true.
You were also a contestant on American Idol as well.
Yes.
What's the difference between the two in regards to how things are set up, or what was more stressful, The Voice or American Idol?
So I will say that American Idol, I think they kind of condense things into a shorter period of time. And so there's a lot more happening and going on that you were preparing for very quickly. And I think that for me, uh, that was the difference between The Voice and American Idol. I mean, they're still very similar. They're still very helpful. They're still very positive and trying to help you accomplish, uh, uh, success on the show. But I definitely think that American Idol, they kind of do things a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, and it's a little bit easier for them to get you in and get you out so that they can kind of keep moving with everything that's going. With the voice, they want you to spend some time there because it's also a lot bigger from the beginning. The voice, they start you off on the stage, they start you off with the cameras and the live audience. With American Idol, they start you off very
Really?
um, uh, it's really stripped down. It's just you and the piano and the judges, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so they start smaller and they grow bigger on American Idol, but on The Voice, they start you off right on the big stage, with the big band and everything. And so it's lights, camera, and action. And so for me, I definitely feel that they both are effective. I think it also just depends on what they're looking for, and on The Voice, I feel like you really have to be prepared and ready, because there is a lot more going on. As I said, you're on the big stage as a live audience, and you have to get those judges to turn their chairs.
Yeah.
With American Idol, they get to see you, they get to know you first, and then they are able to hear your talent and your gifts. So it's just a preference thing. But for me, I absolutely love The Voice, though, and everything, because I'm a performer. I love being on stage. I love being in a place where I'm able to actually share my gift under the lights and the camera and the big band. So for me, I just love that aspect of The Voice.
So, why did you choose the song you sung, "Shining Star" by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
So one of the biggest reasons is because I grew up listening to funk music, and again, as I said, I grew up listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they're one of my big inspirations. And so being on tour with them, that's like the first song that they performed of the set. And so that song specifically is just so nostalgic and reminiscent of me being on tour with them. It also is the anthem and the theme song of their national foster care organization, Music is Unity. And so it connects me with not only them, but with the foster care cause, and something that, the message of the song itself is even is even reminiscent of myself. I would like to think of myself as a shining star, and that was a huge statement that I wanted to make on that stage. So, uh, in connection with the voice team and finding and picking that song, they actually helped pick the song that works perfect for that audition, and we decided that that was it. And so I'm just grateful that we were able to clear it, and I was able to perform it and pay tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire on that stage.
Yeah, and you mentioned getting the judges to turn their chairs, and the first person that turned their chair was Snoop Dogg. How did that make you
Uh-huh.
feel?
Well, one of the most amazing things about it is that, again, like Earth, Wind, and Fire and like Bootsy Collins and all these great artists I've worked with, Snoop Dogg is another one of those icons that I've admired and watched and have really had a great respect for. And
Mm.
so to see him turn his chair and say, "I want you," was everything for me. I went in, you know, knowing that I wanted to work with Snoop, being open-minded because anything can happen. But I knew I wanted to work with Snoop because Snoop to me is more than just a rapper. He's an artist, he's an entrepreneur, he is a businessman, he is, you know, uh, a visionary, and he can bring out things in me that go beyond just the stage, and that they go beyond just performing. And so for me, I really wanted to work with Snoop, and for him to turn his chair and say, "I want to work with you too," was the icing on the cake for me. And it's an honor to be on his team,
Mm.
because I have gained a lot of great wisdom and knowledge, and hope to continue to gain so much more even beyond the show. And working with him, his team has let us know and let me know that we're always forever a part of Team Snoop. So this is going to be a relationship that goes beyond just the TV show, and I'm just grateful for that.
Yeah, in this journey, you've discovered that it's about relationships, right? It's
Yes,
about building relationships and
yes,
maintaining, you know?
100%.
Yeah. So, what has Snoop taught you so far that you think that you can take with you? Because you've had an opportunity to work with him by now, right?
Oh yes, oh
Yeah.
yes. Well, I would definitely tell you this. The one of the biggest things about Snoop that many people can see, but isn't always said, is that Snoop never has to compromise who he is, or whatever. He doesn't have to compromise who he is to fit the room that he's in.
Oh.
Whatever room he walks into, he is always going to be authentically him, and his brand is always going to be authentically itself. And that was one of the biggest things that he has taught me so far, is
Mm.
when you know who you are, walking into those rooms and not taking anything less, not compromising or changing who you are to fit a certain thing or certain brand. If it doesn't work for you, or they don't think that you match with what they are doing or what they have going on, then you walk away. Don't ever allow yourself to conform to something just for the sake of acceptance. And one of the things that he has taught me in terms of his business, and him being able to reach so many different markets and so many different generations, is the fact that he never compromised that. And so I'm looking forward to even working with him even more on that, and being able to take that, because I do find myself, or think of myself, as someone that has a universal brand.
Yeah.
I'm a husband, I'm a father. My music is very uplifting, and very forward minded. It's informative, and it's also about love. It's about God. It's about life. It's about all these different aspects, and it can work with so many different brands and so many different markets. And so I'm looking to be able to take that, and take the wisdom and the knowledge, and with his help, be able to turn that into a universal brand, like he has. And so he's taught me that, definitely. And there's so much more, but for me, that's one of the big things that stands out.
Wow, that is a mouthful there. Yeah, that is something to take. That's something to take with you forever.
I agree.
You are
I
very
agree.
electrifying on the stage. On the stage, where does all that energy come from?
Ah,
Is
you
you are
know,
energized.
I would say, the one thing about, me being on stage, I studied James Brown, I studied Prince, I studied Michael Jackson. These
Oh,
artists, in my opinion, are my holy trinity of the greats and icons that I want to walk in the footsteps of. And so for me, I get that energy just from watching them embodying their spirit and being very, very intentional about finding my unique sound and my unique style in from what they have presented. And so for me, I love an energetic show. I love to be, because that's what the audience is there for. They want to experience you. They don't want to just come and hear you. They want to be a part of what you're doing. And so if I have this electrifying energy on stage, it's going to translate to them, and now they're going to want to dance, they're going to want to perform, they're going to want to sing with you. And I think that it adds so much to the live show, and it makes the audience that much more a part of the experience, and wanting to come back and experience that again as well. So for me, that energy comes, from that. And I think I just, as a little kid, I was very rambunctious. I had a lot of energy.
good.
I had a lot of charisma, had a lot of confidence, and that's never gone away. And I'm thankful for that, because being in foster care, sometimes can take that away from people and the trauma and the experiences that they go through. But that was one thing that never left me. I always stay true to to me, even if it made me seem out of the box or different. I always knew that I wanted to present something over the top. I can be a little extra just because that's how I am. I love that, and it helps, especially when I'm performing live.
Absolutely. Keep being yourself. So, what is it like in a day uh with the voice? So
Okay.
you wake up, do they give you a schedule? How does this work, and how does it what happens behind the scenes that we don't see?
Well, they are very, very great at scheduling all of us. I mean, there's a lot of us. I mean, when we auditioned, there was at least anywhere between 110 to 120 of us, and they have to schedule all of us for the different um, activities that we have to do. Some days we didn't have anything, but some days it was back to back to back to back. So like the day of the blind auditions, you're going and you're doing makeup. You're waking up pretty early. You're doing makeup, and then you're going to wardrobe, and then you're going to do maybe an interview, or you're going to maybe do something with some B-roll, and then you're preparing for the stage performance. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a lot happening some days. Then sometimes you're just going to stage rehearsal, or sometimes you're just going to go rehearse with the band, or you're just going to go uh, do a voice lesson with your vocal coach that they give you from the show. So they have you busy. And as I said, they're very, very great at making sure that you feel confident, that you feel secure in what you're doing in your performance. If you have questions, if you need help, they set everything up so that you have that help. So make sure that when you get on that stage, when the nerves kick in and you're, on camera in front of millions of people, you still shine like the star that you are. And so, yeah, I mean, but other than that, also one of the great things about the show is the other contestants that you're there with. So we're all staying in a hotel together, we're living together, and we're around each other every single day. And so when we're not filming, we're going out into the city and doing things together. We're going out to eat. We're going out and discovering different things. We're learning about each other. We're hanging out together, watching movies. I mean, I've met some lifelong friends from this experience. And I think I'm just so thankful for that, because we come from all over the country.
Right.
And it might be hard to see each other, but we still FaceTime each other. We still call each other. We're still very much so involved with each other. Even after this experience, we all expect to stay in contact and be together. And so uh, it's an incredible experience. And so, if we're not filming, we're hanging out together and enjoying each other's and learning more about each other.
Are you able to come home in between or, at all?
Yeah, so like right now we're on a break currently right now. So we come, back and forth for a period of time. We film and then we go home for a short period of time and then we come back and film because they're also filming season 27 at the same time. So
Oh,
there's two
wow.
different seasons happening or currently being filmed at the same time. And so there's that's even more of us that has to be scheduled and so, yeah, while season 27 is there, sometimes we do overlap, but while season 27 is there, we go home and get a short, break and get to see our families and get to take some time. Then we come back out and we do more filming.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So tell me, what are you going to do with that $100,000 purse?
There's so many things that I can do with $100,000, but one of the biggest things is that my wife has always wanted to get a home
Oh,
for us. Obviously, we pay off all of our debts and anything that we have, debt wise, but also, getting our first home because I want my children to have that and to be able to have a place to be able to call their own that is comfortable. And, we're really into, building wealth and investing. And so we have businesses of our own and we want to continue to build that wealth and create a future for our children and so we
yeah,
would be probably investing that into our businesses, into, things that would help us with entrepreneurial um, uh, adventures going forward.
yeah.
And maybe probably taking some of it to at least enjoy and take a good, well needed vacation. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, I bet. I bet. Well, Drayon, we are rooting for you and much success to you and your family. And I just want to thank you so much for coming back and talking to us and talking to me and spending time. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I truly always appreciate your support and your love and for having me back on the show. And there's a lot of great things that are coming, and I'm just super excited for everything that is to come. So I'm looking forward to coming back and talking to you again.
I'm looking forward to it as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me again, Drayon. We will be in touch. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay. God bless.
You too.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.